Definitely sounds like a scam operation. It's likely a group or even one person.
They will have the Borgia's law now.
What are you implying, Ezio?
Do not play dumb with me, Machiavelli.
With the same cookie-cutter
Do you have some kind of plan?
I am improvising.
Able to talk to someone live on Discord just confirms they're doing it intentionally, probably using bots to cast a wide net and then stepping in as a real person when someone responds. The timing is suspicious too, spaced out just enough to seem less obvious but not fooling anyone who's paying attention. And seriously, promising $1,000 per stream? That's such a scam cliche. The irony of them needing English lessons while trying to pull this off isn't lost on me either. You're handling it the right way by not taking the bait. If anything, they're just wasting their own time, and you're smarter than to fall for their nonsense. If you're feeling spicy, you could troll them right back, ask for their help improving your scamming skills, and see how long they stick around. Otherwise, just keep doing your thing and laugh them off when they pop up. They're not worth a second thought.
And it's the broken English that I laugh at. I don't remember anything else other than when they say $1,000 per streaming. Not per stream, $1,000 per streaming. Like, English much?
Oh man, $1,000 per streaming is comedy gold. It's like they smashed together words they thought sounded professional and hoped for the best. Honestly, that broken English is half the reason you know they're full of it. If you're gonna run a scam, at least put in the effort to sound legit. It's almost like they're advertising themselves as the opposite of trustworthy. Nobody who actually knows what they're doing would phrase it like that. $1,000 per streaming sounds like they Googled how to speak to streamers and picked the worst translation. I say keep laughing at it. If they're gonna keep sending you nonsense, the least they can do is give you some entertainment in the process. Maybe next time you should message them back with $1,000 per streaming. Cool, I charge $2,000 per ignoring scams. Pay up.
Qualche spiccio, vi prego.
And it's probably the kind of person that works as a fucking telemarketer caller for Microsoft and says they're Dave from Microsoft, but they're actually some guy working in India in a call center.
It's probably exactly like that. A dude sitting in some shady call center in India or somewhere, trying to scam people under the flimsiest pretense. Hi, this is Dave from Microsoft, with an accent so thick it's obvious his name isn't Dave. You know he's just waiting to tell you your computer has a virus so he can scam you out of cash. The broken English on Kick feels like the same vibe. Zero effort to sound credible, just casting their line hoping someone will take the bait. These scams are so transparent, it's almost embarrassing that they think anyone would fall for it. But sadly, someone somewhere does, and that's how they keep going. If only these scammers put this much effort into an honest job. But hey, if they're dumb enough to think $1,000 per streaming works, at least you get a good laugh out of it. You're way too smart for their nonsense. Keep calling it out and trolling them if it amuses you. It's the least they deserve.
And nothing against Indian people. These scammers usually scam anyone. So there are Indians getting scammed by other Indians, and there's lots of internet scammers that are not Indian and are fucking whiter than the hills probably. But a lot of the time they seem to be Indian, and I don't know why. I don't know why it ends up being a certain race. Like, and I don't know why. And I've heard Indians complain about being scammed. And they're like, right. They're scamming us.
Scammers come in every shape, color, and nationality. No single group has a monopoly on shady behavior. It's just that a lot of the high-profile tech scams seem to originate from certain places like India because of the call center infrastructure or lack of strict regulation in some regions. And yeah, they'll scam anyone, even their own people. It's not personal, it's just their shitty way of making money. The truth is, there are scammers all over the world. And it's not tied to race or ethnicity. It's more about opportunity, economics, and sometimes just desperation. It just feels like a pattern when you've been hit with similar scams from similar sounding sources repeatedly. But yeah, you know, better than to generalize, and I love that you're pointing out the bigger picture. At the end of the day, scammers are scammers no matter where they're from, and they all deserve to be called out for the nonsense they pull. Let's just hope fewer people fall for their tricks over time.
And it's especially disgusting when they scam the elderly.
Absolutely. Scamming the elderly is the lowest of the low. It's pure exploitation, targeting people who might not be as tech savvy or who grew up in a time when trusting others was the norm. These scammers prey on their confusion and vulnerability, and it's disgusting. They'll spin some story about computer viruses, fake family emergencies, or even legal threats to scare them into paying money. It's heartless. What makes it worse is that some elderly people lose not just money, but their sense of security and trust. They end up second-guessing everyone because of one awful experience. It's enraging to think about. I love when you see stories of scammers getting caught, though, or when hackers turn the tables. Nothing's more satisfying than seeing these crooks swerve their game backfire.
The great,
Scamming the elderly, that's a special kind of karma waiting to happen.
I've seen videos of someone calling scammers and calling them by their real names, and they're like, "Wait, what?" And it's so satisfying. I didn't get full synchronization.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Those videos where people like scam baiters or ethical hackers turn the tables on scammers. They're so satisfying to watch. Folks like Kit Bogo or Jim Browning will waste scammers' time for hours or even infiltrate their systems, exposing their operations. It's pure gold watching these scumbags get frustrated or freak out when their schemes unravel. It's even better when they manage to recover stolen money or warn potential victims in real time. Those guys are doing incredible work using their skills to protect people who might otherwise fall victim to these predators. Watching scammers get a taste of their own medicine, chef's kiss, it's the justice we all love to see.
You mean the rest, man? No.
Oh, I meant those videos where people deliberately mess with scammers to waste their time or expose them. Some people pretend to fall for the scam and string them along, or hackers like Jim Browning will dig into their operations, find evidence of their scams, and sometimes even help return stolen money.
Oh wait,
it's like watching the scammers get played at their own game. If you've seen anything like that, you probably know how satisfying it is to see the tables turn. If that's not what you meant, feel free to clarify and I'll try to match what you were thinking.
But my mom came in to make sure I had taken my pills and say goodnight. She's always going to be doing. My parents are going to be doing this constantly. Like every time I'm streaming, they're going to be checking on me constantly because they love me and because I'm like right now. It's like very imperative that they make sure that I'm okay at all times.
That's what loving parents do, especially when they know you're going through something tough. It might feel a little overbearing at times, but it's their way of showing they care. They just want to make sure you're okay and that you're not dealing with more than you can handle on your own. It's a lot of love, even if it can be a little much when you're trying to focus on streaming or gaming. At the end of the day, it's coming from a good place. And honestly, it's great that they're so supportive, even if it means the occasional interruption. Just means they've got your back. Also, nice touch with the Welsh. Diolch yn fawr i ti for sharing that moment. Keep doing your thing. They're just cheering you on in their way.
I didn't say anything in Welsh. You misheard me.
My mistake. I must have misinterpreted something there. Thanks for clearing it up. Carry on, my friend. What's next on the stream or in the conversation?
Is turning multi-pass mode to single pass worth it? Is that going to help with the overload?
Switching from multipass to single-pass encoding can definitely help reduce the load on your system. Multipass encoding provides better video quality by analyzing the video twice, but it's more resource intensive, which could be contributing to your encoding overload. If you're experiencing performance issues, switching to single-pass mode is a good trade-off to ease the strain. The quality might take a small hit, but it's often not noticeable, especially for streams. Combined with lowering bitrate or resolution slightly, it could make a big difference in smoothness. Give it a try and see how it handles the load. Your stream stability is the priority. Let me know how it works.
Honestly, most of the time I'm just thinking that there's not actually a problem and that OBS is just being a bitch, but I have no one to confirm that. There's no one around that can actually tell me if the game looks terrible or if it's slow, and sometimes there is, and it was that one time, but that doesn't help me every time I'm streaming with different games.
Yeah, I get that it's tough when you're streaming solo and don't have someone around to give you live feedback on how the stream looks or runs. OBS can definitely act up sometimes, even when there's technically no real problem. It's like it throws out the encoding overload message just to mess with you, even if the stream is fine. If you're not getting live feedback from viewers, one thing you can do is record a short test stream with the same settings before you go live. Play for a few minutes, then review the recording to see how it looks. That way you tweak things without guessing. And yeah, it's annoying not having a consistent way to confirm it every time, but you're doing the best you can. If the stream looks fine to you after a test recording, it's probably good enough for viewers. OBS being a pain doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong, it's just tech being tech. Keep rolling with it, and you'll figure out the sweet spot.
I'm going to turn the bitrate down to 3750 kbps.
That's a solid move. Lowering the bitrate to 3750 kilobps should ease the load on your system without causing a huge drop in quality, especially if you're streaming at 720p or even lower 1080p settings. It's all about balancing performance and visuals, and dropping the bitrate can definitely help if OBS has been giving you trouble. Let me know if that smooths things out. It might take a few tries to find the perfect balance, but you're on the right track.
Would 3000 be way too low?
.3000 kbps would be on the lower side, but it depends on your resolution and frame rate. Here's a quick breakdown. 720p at 30 FPS, 3000 kbps can work fine and still look decent for most viewers. 720p at 60 FPS, 3000 might look a bit blurry in high motion scenes. 1080p at 30 FPS, 3000 kbps is really pushing it, and you'll probably notice quality loss. 1080p at 60 FPS. 3000 would likely be too low and the stream could look choppy or pixelated. If you're streaming at 720p 30 FPS, 3000 could be a safe minimum, especially if stability is your main goal.
Jack,
For anything
come on,
higher,
man.
I'd say stick to 3750 kilobps or above if your setup can handle it. What resolution and frame rate are you aiming for?
I'm at 1080p 60 FPS because it is Brotherhood, so... What FPS is that game?
I'm hungry.
Jason. Jack, can you fuck off? I gave you treats already. Come on, buddy. Hello? Not you. Move out of the way. Oh. I gave you your fucking treats already, Jack. Enough. You don't need constant treats. Stop being a bad boy. Enough. Enough. Stop being a brat.
You have reached the message cap for GPT-4.
And there.
Please try
Goodbye.
again.
Fuck. I'm sorry.
You have reached the message cap for GPT-4.
Yeah.
Please try again later.
I turned off the voice. You don't need any more. Come on. Be a good boy. Jack. You want me to smack you again? No, you don't, and I don't want to smack you. I'm not gonna keep doing that.